It's Julie, and I am the teen librarian at the Central Branch Library, and today we're going to make these nice little six-sided dice, just your typical dice, out of little wood blocks. So the supplies that you have in your bag, you'll have 6 wooden blocks, unpainted of course, and you will have some toothpicks, which we'll use to make the dots, a foam brush that we'll use to paint them, and you'll have some white paint and some black paint. Yours will be in little condiment cups. And make sure that you need to provide something to protect the surface area that you're painting on, just in case you get a little paint, as we have done here. All right. So for your first step, you're going to take your 3 blocks, a little bit of your white paint. So yours is going to be in a little condiment cup, but just the white acrylic paint. And grab your blocks. Use your foam brush and just paint one of the surfaces white. And it's going to take a little time for them to dry, so if you want to kind of go in order here, and just paint one surface of each one, and then we'll flip them, and you'll paint all the surfaces eventually on all of the blocks. And really, before that dries, you can probably paint another surface. So I'm going to flip, paint another surface. And flip them the other way. Paint a 3rd surface. A little more difficult here. All right, and you let those dry. All right, so after you have those 3 sides dried, you can go ahead, flip them, and start to paint the other 3. And don't worry, if you put newspaper down, if you get a little messy, it'll be okay. You just don't want to flip the block on a side that you just painted, because it'll stick to the newspaper, and you don't want that. Also too, if you have enough paint and you think it needs a second coat, you can go ahead and do a second coat if you'd like. So once they're dried and they look good enough for you, you're going to use a toothpick to make the little dots. And I'm going to start off with number 6 right here, so you can kind of see how you can place the dots. All right, so you get your toothpick, put it in the paint, and you're going to go straight down like that, almost kind of like a little stabbing, like you're poking it in the ground. And I'm going to start at the corner. And you're going to have to keep going back to that paint. You kind of go around a little bit and make a bigger dot. And I'm going to do one here, and I can go back and make them a little bigger. Put one in between. So start off on the corners here to kind of space my dots. And then put one in between. You could go in kind of a circular motion with your little stabs of the toothpick. It'll make that get a little bit bigger as you go out, and keep it kind of in a little round shape, like a little dot on a dice. Once you're happy with it, you can set it aside and let that one dry. And do it to each one. So just remember that you want 1 through 6 on each dice, or each die. So when you go to paint a side, just pick it up and check what's on there so you don't have to go back over it again. So that's number 6. Number 5, you can start dead center. And then 4 corners. It should be easy enough. Really don't need a whole lot of black paint for this. And if you would like to do something different, if you have paintbrushes at home, you can write the number 1 or the number 2 on the side if you prefer. That'll work just the same. Number 4, it's just 4 corners here. And then of course for the 3, you can, for the 3, you're just going to put a dot here and there, and then plant 1 in the middle, and the 2 opposite corners, and then the 1 right in the middle. And then let them dry. And again, make sure that you let them dry before you turn them over to the side and you don't stick the wet paint on the paper. And then you're done.